And what a way to start a stream. So, hello and welcome. Hi, I'm Josh, also known as CP Geek. And on this crazy, weird stream, I'm going to hopefully be assembling some filament dry boxes. But so far, we've just been hanging out pre-stream while I hilariously get stuff ready. Anyhow, today I bought some cereal boxes, and I haven't done that ever that don't contain cereal until yesterday. All right, so background music, and we are back on track, more or less. Ambiance. Yes, yes, yes. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so let's crack into those cereal boxes. Let's just grab the first one, show you what is going on here, and pick up the parts on the floor that I dropped all over the place as I was trying to get things working. Also, your boy's got a new lav mic that I've been using here for the past few minutes, and hopefully that is sounding okay-ish. Let me know if things are not up to snuff. I can switch back to the standard mic. Just thought this might be a little bit easier to use for projects where I need to get up and walk around for a few minutes. Box of stuff. All right, box of food storage. All right. Live sound is good, says the Eric, the Red. Awesome, awesome. So this is the planet Earth. Let's switch this up. This is a box of 3D printed parts. So these are going to help us build out some filament dry boxes so that our hydroscopic filament doesn't get all dampened. So these are cereal boxes, food storage containers. These, once again, ignore my incredibly messy desk. Still working through some stuff here to clean up. And let's move Discord elsewhere so that things aren't in plain view. All right, so we've got our food storage container. Just pop this open. I have not yet checked these out myself. So the whole point of this is to get dry filament storage, but be a lot more convenient. So on my bamboo printer, I use the AMS as a dry box. That's a little thing that allows me to switch between 4 colors. It's really difficult to get these out of here. That's quite the... They really don't want me in here. Well, I can't see a world I'm going to return this, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this box open. Through the destructive way of doing things. I don't usually do that, but there we go. So I'm going to set the rest of these aside for now. Oh, that's what you mean by cereal boxes. I thought you just folded up cardboard cereal boxes. No, 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 no. What do you think? This is some kind of amateur hour here? No. So these are what you would pick up if you, say, didn't want your cereal to go stale and you have lots of different kinds of cereal and you wanted to, keep them around for a while. So these are actually really, well, not really cheap, but pretty cheap. Looks like there's a bunch of them stacked up here. I can separate them out. All right, so I'm going to start with just one because I have 12 of them here, and they're all nested like Matryoshka dolls. But so this is really what I'm working with. So we've got this part here that has this nice rubberized O-ring to keep moisture and air and all kinds of other things out. There's also a nice O-ring that goes around the outside here. And when you put this on here, it makes a real nice seal, or at least that's the idea. There we go. So, cereal box. With this, if you pop it open, you can actually fit a whole standard cereal box inside this guy. And that's how you would, keep your cereal from getting, moisture in it and getting all stale and gross if you wanted to, say, keep it around for a little longer. If you're, one person and a box of cereal lasts for, I don't know, more than a week or so. I'm going to stick some filament in this. So, hey, how about that? Some filament. This is some red PLA. PLA is not terribly hygroscopic, but most of what I print is ABS. This just happens to be what I had in arm's reach. And to keep this from getting moistened from the air, we can do this. But if that's all there was to it, this would be a terribly dull stream. Eric says, I'm caca for cuckoo puffs. I hope not. So I could just, toss my spool of filament in there, stick this guy on the shelf, and be pretty happy. But no. Instead of just shoving some filament into a box, what we're going to do is add some desiccant. The fun little do not eat packets have some indicating desiccant that actually shows you if it's saturated or not. And I can actually heat that back up to get the desiccant to release the liquid and dry it out again. Just bake that off, either in an oven or I can microwave it, that kind of thing. And all the moisture gets released back into the atmosphere, becomes nice and dry again, and you can reuse that desiccant. I'm already using desiccant in a couple of different places, including my AMS. So that's that. So that brings me back to the box of 3D printed parts. This is actually for a couple of different ones. I tried to print out a few of the various things that we're going to be upgrading our storage box with. I already talked about desiccant. So this is just a little desiccant box. Let's zoom in, tad. Focus. Focus. Sort of. There we go. That works good. So this isn't the best print overall, but it'll certainly keep the desiccant in the little basket. And so we've got our basket, we've got our top, and as you see, the top is very much like the top of our cereal box here, and that's designed to seal against the little O-ring that I showed you before. So you fill up your desiccant here, which I'll show you in a minute. We go ahead and stick this in here, line up our notches, give it a little turn, and it locks into place. So then we open this guy up, pop that out, and this just sits right in here like so, and seals against that O-ring. So we've got the pretty nice fit there. That works. And then now that we've got a lid with desiccant, we're actually going to flip this upside down in the end because it's a whole lot easier to hold this on the bottom and put this on top of it. the cereal box, that is. So there's that. But we're going to be able to print directly from the box. That's part of the appeal. Now, I didn't design this. I'll lead with that. I found this on Printables amongst a whole bunch of other dry box designs. I should probably pull that up here while I'm thinking about it. How do I even computer? So, if I go to desktop, there's my computer, and let's make this a little bigger so y'all can see it. And we go filament dry box, and there are many versions of this. Just to scan on down here, the version that I went with is by Gun PLA Mark. So this is basically what it's supposed to look like in the end, kind of like with the Cook and Show, where you pull the finished product out of the oven. But this is more or less what we're building. I'm not going to bother with the outside tags. I actually will be printing labels for these with my Brother label printer. I just find it a little easier than trying to 3D print tags for this kind of stuff. And you'll note also at the top here, we've got hygrometer at the top here, and I picked up a 30 pack of those for super cheap. What? We have a flip that noise. Wow. Hello. Popping in to say hi before I go to bed. Well, thank you for coming on by. It's been a while since either of us have popped into one another's streams, so thank you for coming on by. I know I spoke to you a little earlier, and hopefully things will be going good for you. Have a great night, but thank you for coming on by. That's super awesome. You get flip that noise in the house. And Mom asks, how are you? So I agree. How are you? You are very welcome. Absolutely. So we're making filament dry boxes. So this has a few different features. There's a hygrometer up above, and this also doubles as a guide for the filament to go out the back. Other people have made these. So here we've got somebody else has made. This makes things a little bit easier to see. And on the bottom here, you'll notice that we've got some rollers that our filament is going to sit on. And that will enable us to get the filament out of it a little bit easier. At the back, we've got this nice little setup here with a cap and a PTFE coupler, so we can print directly out of the back of this. Super easy. So this is what I'm going after today. Shouldn't be terribly difficult. And of course, this is what the lid looks like once you get the rollers in place and the desiccant here. And things are looking good. So this shouldn't be that difficult. I'm really just going to build one and see what happens. Maybe build the rest off camera. Maybe do a different project. I don't know. Let's see what happens. And thank you for shouting out Flip That Noise, Eric. I'm so grand, getting on, slowly sorting things, getting there. Hope you're doing good. This is very posh for filaments. What's the readout? So the readout is actually a hygrometer and thermometer. Someone figured out that you can get bulk, cheap hygrometer and thermometer on the super cheap. So I've got a box full of these. Whoop. So this tells us that we've got 18% humidity in here right now, and it is 80.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Kind of wish that I was able to swap this to Celsius, but I guess I will just have to be an American, as I am. So these are super cheap, and because they're standard little LCD displays, they last a really long time on batteries, which they come with. I think it's it says here LR44 batteries. So these are really easy to get on their normal like 1/2 AA watch batteries. So with this, I can judge what the moisture content is in the dry box. Wow, words are hard. Slimy indeed. Wonderful to hear. One day at a time. That's all we can do. How goes the Puppet Project? Yes, the Puppet Project. If you are not following Flip That Noise, please go on over to YouTube and follow Flip That Noise. Also, here on Twitch, they do streams every so often that are absolutely hilarious with a fantastic community. Just such a good time to hang out over there, go crazy, and play some games, talk about some things, watch some things. It's a riot. And Flip also does all sorts of really cool art, so if you're not following, please go on over there. Super cool stuff. Art, music, all kinds of crazy, good, fun times. Flip says, Puppet is going slowly as usual. I reckon by the end of the year, I'll know all the things I should have done. The second generation is always going to be better than the prototype, but you gotta start with the prototype. Yeah. So, yeah. If you don't start somewhere, you don't get anywhere. So the learning process is definitely necessary. One of the shorts that was posted recently by Flip was some soldering projects that was just going on. I made all sorts of comments about that it's awesome that you're learning, and that there's a whole bunch to know and do. But that stuff is so much fun, and once you get the hang of it, you can do really anything that you want. So yeah, really great stuff. And I couldn't have said it any better. Failure is your friend, because I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways which it doesn't work. That's Thomas Edison. Unless you stole it from someone else, like you did everything else. That's another story. Get a little bit better focus. There we go. So, let's go ahead and start with rollers, I guess. So they get 3D printed like this. So there's basically two of these, and they're symmetrical and they lock together. So this is my first attempt. I wanted to make sure that they would lock. They just lock like puzzle pieces right together. There's no mechanism or anything. They just sit there. So these hopefully should fit just on here. Oh, that might be support material that I'm supposed to remove. I know that I printed some of them with the block and some of them without. So, might not be able to use the block one. So these don't have the block down below. I think that's the way that these are intended to be used. I might have to do a little little sawing action on this later. But here now today, yeah, these look good. So let's go ahead and puzzle piece these together. And they should just set right in here. And they do. So they just sit right in the bottom here. And they're form-fitting so that they don't wiggle around too much. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but not a whole lot. And Mom says the important thing is to have friends there when you fall or fail. Yes, and absolutely. They support you through your failure and will be the first ones to clap when you succeed. Yeah, absolutely. And the journey is always fun too. Like here, I very rarely get all of this stuff right the first time. I can't count the number of times I've had to tear down 3D printers or redo software or that sort of thing. You know what? Those overhangs didn't come out all that well. I'm just gonna put this like this so it's symmetrical, and that sits right on the top of the desiccant holder. Nice and stable. So there's that, and then rollers go on top of that. So there's this. I'm gonna work out how this works. There is a YouTube video for this. This project also involves skate bearings in order to make this roll easier. So these are 608 skate bearings, the same thing that you would use in like fidget spinners and skateboards and those sorts of things. So it should be 4 per box. I'm just gonna break out a few here. Set those on the desk. This is where the hygrometer thermometer goes. I'm not quite certain what direction this is supposed to fit in the top, so we'll find that out together in a few minutes. If you had one end with the block for structure and the other end where the cage is without, I could certainly do that, but I don't need the ones with the block. I'm pretty sure that block is supposed to be support material that is simply adhered too much to the part and isn't coming apart. So I'm pretty sure that this block here is supposed to be removed. And the reason for the 2 different colors is I just had these going on 2 different printers, and I had the most of this violet filament. It's ABS, and I had some Polymaker black that I have an abundant supply of now that I decided to go with for that. So here, oh, I see, we've got this. It goes in here like so. I've got this, which only fits one way because the inside has a little flat part there. So that goes on our axle. And that goes right to the edge. Oh, I think I know how this works. So this gets removed. Our bearing goes on here and fits over that little piece there to create a nice friction fit. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll just toss the bearing on. Put this on like so. Ah, come on. Oh, where's the flat part? There it is. All right, and then we bring our bearing up, and the bearing locks this together. There we go. There's our roller assembly. And then the roller assembly fits right in a little groove here. There's hard to see on camera with the black, but there's grooves on either side that the bearings just fit real nicely into. And they're push fit. So you go pop, and it fits right in. And it's a nice rolling surface. So I'm just going to do that one more time. There's our next axle. And I did have to cancel some of these prints, so for now I'm actually just going to mix colors. I won't leave it this way because it doesn't suit me, but just for the initial assembly, because I didn't get the black printed parts all together, I had to cancel some of those because they went wrong and during the printing process. I'll just use the purple ones for now. Doesn't really matter physically, but the color choice is going to bug me in the end. But for today and this stream here, whoop, and I'm just dropping parts all over the place. Anyway, for today's stream, I'll just go ahead and assemble with the multiple colors. So we've got our bearing. That bearing is locked in place, and then we'll pull this up, and this just sort of fits in the hole there to sort of lock that on the end. That all comes together. Once again, friction fit right on the end here. Pop, and everything is nice and spinny. So the way this works is filament just goes on those rollers, just like so, and spin, spin, spin. So then as filament gets fed through the extruder, it'll just continuously pull it into the machine, and that works quite well. Now for desiccant, hang on for just a couple of seconds here. Whoop. Let's take a look back at the chat. Oh, boo to the block. I'll figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. Mom, thank you. That means a lot. Gonna keep going with them as much as I can until life's back on track. I also love that I can do a bit of one thing and a bit of another. It means that when I can't find space to do stuff, I can usually film something when I get the time. I'm also so glad they're making you smile. Absolutely. So fun. Trying to make them as silly as possible. Certainly silly, especially when you're working with Druncula over there. That's so cool. I think I need to get Stream Elements to not do that every so often, or at least make that time go more. So much fun watching the progress slowly but surely. Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Much love indeed. So if you can hang on for a couple of seconds, let me go ahead and grab my desiccant, and I will load up some in this little cup. Sure. All right. So this stuff is indicating death. I don't know if you can read my scrawl here, but it says "Do not eat." This stuff is poisonous. It can kill you. It can make you a mummy, basically. This is just silica gel, plain and simple, but it's got an indicator as far as how moist it is. This is blue to pink indicating gel. When it's blue, it means that it's nice and dry. When it goes pink, that means that it needs to be dried out. It's full of water. It no longer functions. Microwave to recharge. That's the stuff. Let's pop this open, and we'll just retrieve. Oh, one of the features of this is that you can actually retrieve the silica gel by popping it out the bottom without having to remove the filament that's in the dry box. So we'll go ahead and pull this apart. There we go. And I'll just go ahead and use this as a scoop and scoop some silica gel here. Smaller bag of it. This stuff likes to get everywhere. It's tiny little granules. So I filled it most of the way full. Yay full. And I'll go ahead and put it in its little thing here. If I can line up the things again. There we go. Twist the lock. And now we've got our silica gel trapped, but still accessible to air. So right now in my room, I have 18% humidity, and it's 81.5 degrees in here right now, Fahrenheit. But once I get this all sealed up with desiccant, it should come down considerably within an hour or two. So as I said at the top, I'm just going to make one as a prototype for today, right now. You know, you build one once, and then you can build, you know, 12 of them in like a 5-10 minute period. Just a matter of figuring out how things go together the first time. So there is some minor drilling involved in this project in order to get the filament out. That's the only downside to this particular project, is that it is destructive, but it's not terribly difficult. So next, I'm going to figure out how to get the hygrometer and the filament path thingy set. Silica gel maracas, yeah. So dry. Needs more margaritas. Yes, margaritas to go with the silica gel maracas. I can get behind that. Drink responsibly, but I can get behind that. He's been very kind to have me stay. I've definitely outstayed my welcome, and he's being lovely. Don't tell anybody I said nice things about him. Yes, absolutely. So, going back to the page with the stuff here and the makes. So, judging from this picture, you basically drill out the back here toward the top, maybe 3/4 down. And here it shows some PTFE going, but I'm just going to use the PTFE coming out of the printer and go right into the dry box. So that should solve all of those problems. Just looking here, I don't see the top part. Ah, there we go. Okay, so this is the part that I was missing. So it looks like there's a hole at the top that they're doing, and this part goes like this. Let's see if we can do something like that. Instead of drilling the top, which is the bottom here, I don't really want to drill there. If I have to. It just uses M3 hardware. That's the way it's designed, but I don't really like that idea. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and tape this to the inside of the lid here. So it's gonna go like this, right? And this is supposed to line up to right where the midpoint is. You can sort of see where the mold point is. That's supposed to line up to that, which is cool, but I don't want to drill this to affix it. So I'm just going to tape it to the thing. I have some VHB tape. Not everybody has this stuff on hand. It's very high bond tape from 3M. I use this a lot for 3D printer stuff, to attach panels to stick on hard drives to computer cases, not hard drives, SSDs to computer cases. This will stick most things to most other things in a somewhat permanent way. It's not glue, it is technically removable, but it's a really good bond. So I think that this stuff should do the job for now. Just taking a look at chat. Oh, Howjuncula's been really cool. That's awesome. And I need a knife. One of the downsides of this stuff is that it's somewhat difficult to cut. You need a really sharp pair of scissors, or in my case, I'm just going to use this hobby knife. Trying not to slice myself in the process. So I'm just going to use a couple of squares here. And, just trying to keep my fingers clear while also cutting through enough, but not all the way to the next round of VHB tape. That wasn't bad. So I'll just go ahead and stick that here and see how that works out. Should be pretty good. And I'll go with another square-ish portion. Oop, didn't get through it enough. Second pass. There we go. Just like that. Now, getting the backs off of VHB tape can also be kind of annoying. Another reason I usually go for the knife instead of the scissors when I'm manipulating VHB tape, because I usually need the knife in order to separate the sticker part from the backing. But that actually worked out pretty well this time. Whoop. And with anything, as we're discussing the prototyping journey, the 12th box that I build is more than likely going to be drastically better than this here first prototype. That is expected and totally okay. And I'm just trying not to slice myself with a hobby knife here. Okay. So that's there, and this will be way easier if I go ahead and put one of these hygrometers in here first. So these have little tabbies on the side, which is pretty neat. Trying to get that on camera. So they basically can fit in just like so. So let's get it the right way around, and we can just pop it in. All right, and then grab our box here. Whoop. Okay. Zoom out. Find where that fits. Okay. Push down. All right, so there's our display. And then last, but certainly not least, we need to go ahead and drill the box. And get that filament set. Going back up to chat here. How important is humidity to 3D printing? I assume very. So, like anything, it depends on how much is too much. Here in Connecticut, where I live, especially in the wintertime where we are right now, as I have been showing off, we are anywhere between 10 and 20% humidity. That is not incredibly humid. It's actually pretty dry in here. But if you live in a more arid region, then the filaments will take on water faster. Even at 21%, certain filaments being hygroscopic, meaning that they absorb water, will degrade with water absorption. So when you try to print them, it basically turns into foam because the water boils off as it goes through the extruder because it heats up and melts. And you get these foamy bits, and you end up with layers that don't quite adhere properly or can be brittle. Sometimes they don't like to stick to the next layer and things don't work out. So situations like that. I personally have not had too big of a problem with the filaments that I have printed with so far. It's just the longer you keep filament out, the easier it is for them to absorb moisture. Usually filament comes in a resealable plastic bag. Most of them are resealable, some of them not so much, but I keep the resealable ones anyway, and that's a decent enough way to store them. But then the moisture from the air gets trapped inside the bag. You can put desiccant in the bag. If you wanted to do a poor person's solution for that, that's not a bad plan. So if you only 3D print a little bit, if you are just starting out, then keeping the resealable bag, maybe putting a little bit of desiccant in it, works great. This is basically the hardcore version of that, and also I'll be able to print from this dry box as well. All of the parts to be making these dry boxes, for 12 of them, cost me a little over $100 for all of the boxes, like 30 of these temperature sensor hygrometers, the bearings, what else was there? Oh yes, and the I bought some PTFE couplers as well to go in the boxes portion. Let's see here. Flip says, I'm nothing if not barely tolerable. I totally disagree. Your streams are so much fun. Although, I mean, everybody can't be that entertaining all the time, I understand. But I think it'd be fun to hang out with. Haha, you said drill that box. Yeah, sure. Side note, has anyone played Night in the Woods? If not, please do. It's great. I have never heard of Night in the Woods. This sounds like a fun tangent. Let's see here. Night in the Woods. Sorry, you probably can't see that. Everything is super tiny here. I'm not going to watch the whole trailer here, but I just want to see what's what here. Art style looks pretty cool. Why can I not advance with keyboard? So, rhythm game subsections, talking to some people, really cool art. This might be something that Eric might want to check out a little later. I don't know, could be pretty cool. Eric says he's heard good things. You have to play it. I think you like it. Hits you in the feels. Got a copy of it. Put it on the list. Awesome. So, Crumbly. What's the usual humidity you're printing in? So, the usual humidity that I'm printing in varies dramatically depending on what time of the year it is. We get all of the weather from all 4 seasons here. During the summertime, we can get humidity of upwards of like 80 to 90% at times. And then here in the wintertime, we get humidity of sometimes 5 to 10% where it's super dry in here. And I feel like I need to boil some water in order to get some moisture in the air, which happens from time to time. I miss Flip streaming, all the chaos and shenanigans and the laughter. Absolutely. It's so good, I made an animation emote out of charcoal. Cool. Made me cry a couple of times. Point and click, the story's awesome. Yeah, I think Eric would love it. Sounds like my jam. Yeah, sounds like it. Cool. All right, so let's back out of Night in the Woods for a moment and figure things out here. So there just so happens to be a YouTube video for the person who built this particular dry box type setup. So currently they're using it with a Voron 2.4, that printer that's right back here. I built one of those on stream and it's pretty cool. They also over here have a V0, just like the one that I built on stream as well, that I recently ripped apart off stream because it has been misbehaving, but I'll get back to that more than likely on stream as well. So there's the dude who made this stuff. Let's skip forward a little bit. Just showing off how it works in the labeling system and whatnot. So that's basically what I showed off already and how to assemble that, and I figured that part out. Okay, so here's the part where we drill. There's the Bowden couplers. I bought a few of those, so I'll be certainly using those. So they want you to drill the top out in order to screw that top piece in place, but I solved that with just, a bit of tape, and I'm happy with that. As far as the humidity goes, it's not necessarily the printing in humid conditions that's a problem. It's the storage of the filament in humid conditions, because many different types of filaments have different levels of how much they absorb moisture. For example, the PLA that we have here for demonstration purposes, this stuff here, this stuff is not terribly hygroscopic. I can store this in the atmosphere with no problems up to probably like 30 or so % humidity relative, and not have too much of a problem. Whereas the ABS filament that printed these parts this stuff is super hygroscopic, and if I left this out just normally in, say, 15% over the course of like a couple of months, it would take on too much water. And you can get a filament dryer and dry out your filament sometimes if it's not too messed up. And some filaments are so hygroscopic that you have to dry them almost every time you use them. For example, TPU, which is a really soft plastic that is rubberized feeling. It's what they make like phone cases out of, for example. TPU is super hygroscopic, and if you leave that stuff out, it's game over as far as trying to print it. It just refuses to print. Whereas also nylons, if I wanted to print high temp nylons, you basically have to dry those before you print with them each time. And it's not terrible, you just have to do it. It takes like 6 hours or so to dry a spool before you print with it in order to get decent results. If you don't, then you end up with a lot of print stringing, a lot of adhesion trouble, interlayer adhesion trouble, and it all goes wrong. So see what they have to all right, so yeah, they have you basically screwing this together with M3 hardware. As I was saying, that's the way that they design that, but I'm using tape and I'm comfortable with that. And it looks like, oh, I see, they just use this piece as like a nut on the back of the print. So then I'm just trying to see how you feed this together. Okay, so you insert the filament, it comes through the top. Oh, I see. It just comes directly off the top of the spool. I'm just trying to examine how that works. Best viewers on streambrew.com. Yeah, no. Ban. Adios. Banhammer. Absolutely. All right, so in here, he's got to say like what size drill bit that I'm supposed to be using here. What bit? That's the little label holder that I'm not going to be using. Oh, alright, so he shows it actually being loaded. Oh, and it's nice and chamfered, so you can just shove it on in there. And then you can just drop the lid down over the top. And seal it up like that. Then there's this last printed piece here, which is just a cap. And there's a cap that fits. All right, so let's back up and try to find where he's drilling. All right, so let's see here. Where the heck is the music? Pro streamer. All right, so I paused the music. There we go. Trying to hear the person with the drill bit sizes here.
The same as the 3mm and the 9mm. What I end up doing is going up to 1/8 of an inch for the small hole and 3/8 of an inch for the
3/8 of an inch. Okay, I think I can do that. Maybe. Okay. So that means that I need drill bits. That's not something that I use every day, but I know that I own. This might be fun. Fun in that I gotta, track down drill bits. Have my drill, use my drill for mostly screwing, but I do know I have a set of drill bits here. I might have to get a little creative. All right. What's that in British? I don't even remember the number you said. It's been a crazy day. Is it 1.5 inches? That's probably too big. Let me listen again. I should have probably written that down. I'm surprised it's not written in the text, like, for the things that you need. Okay, pause music and play the man drilling.
Up here at the top. I'm going to put this down below the bottom edge of that, and we're going to measure down about 1 centimeter from there.
And he mixes his measurements. He's talking about measuring 1 centimeter down from the
right around there. And then I'm just going to eyeball this to get it centered left to right underneath that. I'm just going to start with a small hole in both of these locations.
All right,
and
pilot hole.
Work my way up to the sizes that I need.
.5 mil.
So that was the 1/8
3/8 of an inch.
So this top hole is now to the size we need, and we'll just keep going with the larger sizes on this hole over here until we get it up to the 3/8.
Okay, it is 3/8. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so let me see. I believe that in here I should have a small drill bit appropriate for pilot holes. Indeed I do. But I need to find my larger drill bits to make this happen. And my drill, which is oddly missing. It's usually right next to me on my desk. This is where I work on projects most often. Just searching around for it. Gotta be around here somewhere. I used it very recently. Hmm. Maybe I left it in the living room? I'm gonna drill. Daughter says no idea. I mean, it's not terribly little. It's also not terribly darkly colored. Ah, there it is. Under the camera, best place for it. Happened to be right in the middle of the tripod. I hope he I hope he tells us the diameter in light years. Right. I mean, I could figure that out, but I don't want to waste the stream's time here right now. Alright, so drill bit in. Okay. And he had the good sense to use masking tape for his pilot holes. But I want my pilot holes to look really crap. So I'm going to eyeball and use my knife as punch. Actually, no. Just use a screw. Oh, I'll use these as a punch. That's pretty good. All right. Well, this plastic is super easy to get through. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Because the plastic is so soft, I'm going to forego the drill bit. Don't try this at home, I'm a professional. And the sizing is going to be up to these nuts. Couldn't resist. And gotta have a tool bigger than that to bore that out more. But I'm just over here boring you. But I'm gotta get myself a little bell over here. Need to go slightly bigger. Will do. So I do have proper drill bits around here somewhere, but I don't know where they are just now, and it's not worth me grabbing them. So I'm going to switch back to my screwdriver bit and just start boring a hole. Going quite well so far. Melt some of the outside, but no big deal. Is that enough? The only way to know what the ultimate diameter is going to be is to grab one of those Bowden couplers and take a look here. Just gonna grab one of those. It's like the only thing that I have organized right now. Whoop. Bottom drawer. There they are. Okay, so this is a standard Bowden coupler. Basically, push down in order to release the Bowden tube, and this is the diameter that we're after. And this hole is just a tad too small. Yeah, a tad too small. So we need to bore it out just a little bit more. Might actually need proper drill bit in this case. That's kind of sad. No way I can... No, that is still just way too big. Oh, I know what I can do. So this is a file that I typically use for filing 3D print stuff, either errant edges or any kind of like excess filament material. So I'm just going to go ahead and file around here, make this a little bit bigger. The shape of the hole doesn't matter all that much because we're going to be using a 3D printed part, one of these cap things here, in order to actually retain this. So the size and shape of this really doesn't matter as long as it's not too much bigger than this. Is that enough? Nope. A little more. And yes, a proper drill bit, 3/8, would definitely be the appropriate tool here. This is the dumb way of doing it. But if it works, it ain't dumb. Pretty close. I mean, it's just got to make it through that. Still pretty round. Managed to keep things more or less good. is just more annoying than anything else. Also, I'm not certain that I have a drill bit that large, even if I do find my drill bits. If it works, it's not dumb, or it's still dumb. You just got lucky. Yeah. All right. Okay. We're super close. All right. That's good. It should be a snug fit in order to be more or less weather tight. And do I have a good way of rotating that further? It's crimpers. Let's rotate that. No. Ah, there we go. Popped in the rest of the way. Awesome. I'm just cleaning up the inside a little bit. And then we put our little nut on the inside. This just spins right on. It's got threads on it. That's pretty nice. Right there. Could use a little cleanup. I'm gonna undo this. Remove this, if I can. I usually have pliers here, but those are missing too for some reason. Just need to remove some of the excess material that was shoved inside here. There we go. I think I've removed enough of the inside material in order to get this nut in place again. Down far enough where it's seated okay. There we go. That's not so bad. I can always make that a little finer. Close enough for government work. All right, so let's move those aside. We've got this here. So we take our strand of filament, put it on our roller here, make sure it can spin. We'll just put it in the little hole here. So it comes out the tube. Set her on down. Do up our watertight air tightness. And there we have a box we can print from directly, and on rollers. The rollers do their job properly, and I need to suck a little bit in there. There's enough of a this thing prevents filament from going over the edge of the spool, so that when you backfeed it, it doesn't spaghettify all over the place. So when you store it, you can basically leave a little hanging. And then we need one more part. Where'd the cap go? I should have a few of them. Maybe I just dropped them all? Hang on, let me just grab one off the printer then. I know I printed them. All right. So this little 3D printed cap. So it's actually got a hole down through it, cylinder here, so that you can put it over the extended filament and push this in, so that this is now completely airtight. But when it's time to print, you can simply push this down, remove the cap, and you still have this little end of filament that you can take and feed into the Bowden tube of your printer, and then connect the tube directly here, so you can print directly out of this dry box. And looking at the front here, looks like it's currently at 23% humidity inside the box. There's a little give or take. This one says 21, and it's 83.8 versus 81.5, so not so much in the way of calibration, but still a really decent way to store a bunch of filament. So I don't plan on like cracking open all of my boxes of filament and putting them in these, but as I open different boxes of filament and print with them, when I want to take them out of the AMS or off of my my other printer, I can basically just plunk one of these down, feed it in, store them like this, and I can set these all up on the shelf and pretty much go with that. And because this is indicating desiccant, I can take a look through the little grill here, and I can see that they're blue right now, but those will turn pink. And I know I need to change out the desiccant and dry the stuff that's in here. So that is the dry box that we just built here on stream. Flip says, right, lovely to see you all. I gotta sleep. Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining me for the stream tonight. It's always great to see you. And please don't be a stranger. I do plan on doing some more streams in the near future. Got to get this thing back up and running on the reg. In fact, earlier today, I went ahead and grabbed a notebook and wrote out a whole bunch of projects that are partially finished or need to get done. And many of them will be a stream here. So, yeah, fun times. Of these, the bigger projects that I plan on doing soonish are my Voron 2.4, the giant printer. I'm going to be turning that into a tool changer, which should be pretty awesome. So that I'll be able to print multiple kinds of filaments all in one go and switch between colors all in one print without wasting a whole bunch of filament like the AMS on the Bamboo does. So that'll be really cool. The V0, I got to figure out what's going on with that. I think it's got a bad rail. I'm going to try swapping out the rail. I talked to Timit, and Timit says that there's a lot of wobble in it from what I showed him on video. So I'm going to go ahead and swap the rail. Hopefully, I might be able to pick up maybe a sponsorship for some of the parts for the tool changer, because that's going to be super expensive to retrofit. That'll require tool head boards. It'll require basically 6 tool heads. I have parts for 2, I think, maybe, if I do them super cheap. But that's going to require a lot of rework, and I don't really expect that to be done until possibly the end of the year. The V0, I do got to get back online soon, and it more or less works. It just wobbles and can't get a good input shaper, so it's got all sorts of gross VFA things going on, and it's crazy. I also am going to be studying a little bit more for my increasing my ham radio license from technician to general, so I can do some HF fun. Might do some of that here on stream as well as I get new equipment and test that out. I still have my home assistant set up on the back burner. I flash a bunch of smart plugs that will tell me how much power things are taking up, but I still have not implemented any of that stuff yet. So I want to get those all plugged in and up and running for streaming. I've got a couple of Meshtastic projects that I wanted to handle. Those will probably be a couple in a stream. Yeah, so always stuff to do, always new things to look at, always new things to find and do. So please hit that follow button if you're not followed already. I will certainly be here. I'm going to be trying to do Sunday nights again. I had been going on a tear Sunday nights from 9 to around 2 or 3 a.m. My time. Here it is 1:30. We're pretty much done with this stream. But probably go to maybe 2 o'clock. So from 9 to 2. That should give me a pretty decent time in order to accomplish some projects. I'm not specifically relegated to that time block. I may do some odd streams during the week as things pop up. Also, I plan on doing some more printing streams over on MakerDeck, as well as on this channel as well. I do some print and chill streams sometimes. If I just want to print something, kick back and chat with some folks. So those are fun. Always a pleasure. Take care and be well. Yes, absolutely. I think that's actually nearing the end of our stream here today. So if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, feel free to go on the Discord. I am there most of the time. Things have been kind of quiet there recently, but anytime I've done any progress, I've posted there. I chat there here and there all the time, and feel free to hit me up there. Cpgeek.org/Discord is the easiest way to get access to that. You probably have seen that link pop up here and there during the stream. Anyway, my name is Josh, also known as Cpgeek, and this has been the stream for today. Once again, I apologize for all the craziness that happened in the beginning. Kind of surprised that I didn't get another blue screen of death during the stream, but that actually bodes well for my professional streams later on this week. I have to do some streams from work with the same equipment and software setup, and not blue screening would be ideal. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, unless anybody had any questions or more stuff to say. Let's take a look and see who we are rating out to today. First off, I'll pull up my regular web browser here. Thank you for the lovely stream. Always interesting, says Mom. That's part of why I'm here. Anytime I want to, build a thing that is at least mildly interesting, I try to share that with the community, especially for cheap stuff like this. For the basic setup for 6 of these boxes, that's probably going to be the minimum quantity. The boxes that I found come in packages of 6. They're generally going to be probably around $50 to make 6 of these boxes. Not terribly expensive for something that lasts for a good long time. I think that this will be a really good solution for filament storage, and you can print directly from them. So this will even work for the tool changer if I wanted to set up just 4 of these on top of my V2 to print from. That's a decent filament holder solution / an easy way to get filament into printers. I'm going to be printing directly from these on my K1 Max. I'm actually going to be removing the filament holder that's stock and just setting one of these when I want to print beside the printer. Right now I'm using a 2 kilogram spool, but I only have one of those that was left over from my initial V2 build project. And I don't really have a reason for the rest of that spool, so I've been using it for functional prints like this. I've got a purple version and a black version of those 2 kilogram spools, but beyond that, any 1K spool will fit in these boxes, and most spools are 1 kilogram. So that should be, more than enough to do normal printing. Let's see. Just trying to find who we're rating out today. You know what? Let's rate on over to MakerDeck. I've spent quite a bunch of time printing there over the past couple of days, and their crew is always cool to see. So we're gonna go ahead and raid over to MakerDeck.